It's DieDra Tucker, Ruff. I am an international blues singer. I tour the world. I sing blues and soul music, and I tour in and out of the country, and that's what I do for it. Lake Taylor High School, where we started, they had the junior high at Lake Taylor Junior High, and then Lake Taylor High School was right next door. From 80 to 84, I graduated in 84. I was the vice president of distributive education. I did fashion merchandise. Didn't get to dabble in sports, but I was more of the business type person. So I was involved in that. Well, it's a day that none of us that was at school that day will ever forget. I remember it lunchtime, it was during lunchtime, and when everything happened, and I just thought to myself, here I am in my 50s, and I thought about it, and no one has ever, I've had two people to pass away traumatic like that. Besides just normal family members that pass away, what have, but two people, and Hatchet, that stuck with me for 30 something years, and I'll never forget it. It just was the most, and to be a young teenager, to have something like that happen, it was a minute of trauma. I remember getting on the bus that afternoon and it was completely silent. Everybody was kind of just in shock all the way home, and was telling my mom and dad about it, and just brokenhearted. So it's just always been, it's something that you'll never forget, because being at the school that day and that happened, and it was something you'll never forget. Every school has something that they're remembered for. And I think Hatchet's death will always be that thing that we remember about Lake Taylor, even though we had, good football teams and things like that. But that day, that lunch time will never, and I think that the kids growing up there at Lake Taylor right now, coming out of school, I have family there that's come from Lake Taylor, they'll always know what happened to Hatchet, and just that, and it isn't a bad thing, because life and death happens, and just to be able to remember him, though, I think that has to be something that the future football teams be able to remember, that there was somebody there that played hard. We had a great record and things were going good, and that happened. Just that just a normal day during lunchtime, he decides to use the coach's car and go home and get something that he left for football, and that happens. And so I think that what I would like to see for the kids is to always remember that there was a great football player there at the school that had an amazing impact on us that was there. 80, 82, 83, 84, us that was there, that I didn't have a negative thought about the situation. I just thought, wow, to experience losing someone at such a young age, that wasn't a relative, but just for somebody that walked the halls with you, somebody that you looked up to because he was a great football player, someone you admired, and just thought, wow. So yeah, it's something that I don't hold it against the school. I just think that he needs to be remembered, and he was a beautiful person, and we loved the football team and the pep rallies, and just a great time supporting the team. And I just think that needs to carry on, and I think remembering Hatchet would be a wonderful legacy for the school to carry on his memory. It's been over 30 years now. So I think that it would be good for the school to just remember that situation and remember his legacy for the football team. I remember the pep rallies, and not just the pep rallies after that. And that was a big healing for us students, because I don't think none of us really knew how to handle that, and even for the coach and what he went through, and I just think that it affected everybody. And I think that it helped at first. I think that next game that we played, I think we lost that following game after his death, but I think we picked it up and we did well after that. And I think it was so much of, let's do this for Hatchet. Let's do this for the school. Let's do this in remembrance of him. And I think that that's what made them guys work so hard and push through and be perseverance through their pain, because they loved him. And even the coach loved him. And it was a traumatic experience, but they had to keep going. So I think that looking at those guys getting out there playing through their pain and doing so well, it made us feel like, golly, they can do that. We can do that too. You know, even just in life in general, just being able to push through our pain and persevere through having something traumatic like that happen to us. Those guys worked hard and they loved him, and they pushed through their pain and they continued on with that school year. One word: triumph. I think triumph, because people can take a tragedy and it can either devastate them, or it can be a triumph for them. And I think the way that the football team pulled together after that happened, it was a triumph for them. And it really, like I said, it made them all realize, I know each guy on the team was hit in a different way. And I know 30 something years later, they still carry that pain in their heart. So I think triumph, to be able to stand 30 something years later after that happened, you don't necessarily forget about people like that. You know, you have people that come and go in your life, but as teenagers, we were just teenagers, to have that happen. That's an age where you're just, you're maturing and you're growing and everything means a lot to you. And that means a lot. And 30 something years later, I see that day standing out there in the foyer there like it was yesterday, you know, and everybody just coming in. Did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? And then getting that announcement over the intercom right before school let out. Wow. So I think triumph is the way to describe what happened, and to be able to walk away from it and be able to create a legacy for him, and always remember him, and always remember the team, and always, you know, I'm forever a Titan, you know, forever a Titan. And I'm very proud to be Class of '84.